With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey, guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to speak of them or talk about them or in any way portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. It would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
Hey everyone, join me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
Each week, we deliver 4 fun-filled shows.
In Don't Blame Me, we tackle our listeners' dilemmas with hilariously honest advice.
Then we have But Am I Wrong, which is for the listeners that didn't take our advice. Plus, we share our hot takes on current events.
Then tune in to see you next Tuesday for our listener poll results from But Am I Wrong?
And finally, wrap up your week with Fisting Friday, where we catch up and talk all things pop culture.
Listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Can you see Megan?
I can see. She has glasses on. If you're watching the Patreon, you can tell. But the most important part is we're ready to fucking roll with a brand new episode of
Fucking Roll or Fuck and Roll?
Stop, Fuck, and Roll. That's my fire safety class. Hey. Okay, Matthew Morrison dance moves.
Do not put that on me.
What can I say? If someone reminds me, I will post it to our story.
Someone reminded you that someone being Eric reminded you of something that you said, remind me to talk about this the next time we do the live stream. They put it in the Patreon. So
fantastic.
If you want to know what we're talking about, join our Patreon.
Well, welcome to But Am I Wrong? Starring 2 people who have not once ever in their lives been wrong. My name is Megan.
My name's Melissa.
Together we create the MMU, Megan Melissa Universe.
Or just Melissa Monch Universe.
You know what? And that's fine by me, because that's how letters work and that's how initials work. And this is a fun podcast of ours. If it's your first time here, think of it like hanging out with your friends. It's GMO-free, organic gossip and shit talking, enjoying sitting on our little thrones with our rhinestone little gavels, saying who we think is wrong, who we don't think is wrong, and then we give those little sparkly gavels to you, and those gavels are your thumbs. If you would like to participate in voting along with those thumbs of yours, or you can use whatever apparatus.
You can use a little pointer thing. You can use your baby toe. Whatever
little
works.
Dexterity. A little sausage in Melissa's case. A little sausage. Tasty.
Suck them up.
Someone DM'd me on TikTok and said, how much for your dirty socks? And I'm like, I'm about to entertain this offer.
I think you should.
I think I should too. And I'm like, how dirty do you want those socks?
Right. Do you want me to walk outside in them? Do you want me just to have a everyday sneaker wear? Do you want me
in my home with my Birkenstocks? But they don't have to know that.
I know.
Life is an illusion. All of that to be said, sorry for the tangent, everybody. Head on over to our Instagram stories. We post every topic, everything we talked about on the podcast with a vote if you think this person was wrong or you don't think they were wrong. And we read the results on Friday's episode, which is called Fisting Friday. And we also love when you write in with your thoughts and feelings, personal experiences, or things related to each of the circumstances. And we also read those aloud for further discussion. It's a wonderful time. It's not like a class you can fail, you know?
Yes, it is. I don't know what you're talking about. We expel people all the time.
Oh, that is. Oh, you mean as a community? I thought I meant voting.
I mean, not recently, but
Yeah.
we used to.
Well, we keep an eye.
Keep a watchful eye.
We do.
Big sister is watching. That's what the witch sounds like on my doorbell.
I love that. Does anyone have Lewis the jack-o'-lantern? Like, who was able to snag Lewis? Have you seen Lewis?
Yes, Megan.
No, but like, who got Lewis? Who was able to buy
First of all,
Lewis?
his name is Lewis.
Like, I'm obsessed with Lewis. Lewis is going for like almost $500 on eBay.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's even higher
those,
now.
I blame those people on TikTok. They
But-
should have kept Lewis to themselves.
I want to know who snagged a Lewis. Send us your Lewis pics.
Yeah.
I would love to see a video too, because a picture is not worth 1,000 words in this case. Because I would like him. I would like to hear him say
Yes.
that it's Lewis.
See and hear. Hear and see.
So this is a wonderful, great, fun, amazing podcast, and you'll get the hang of it. There are a couple segments that we have, and we will explain each of the segments before we get into them. But all you need to know is I was going to say, the only thing you need is a good attitude, but you don't need a good attitude. You're allowed. We welcome bad attitudes. You're allowed to have a bad attitude and listen to our podcast.
Oh, yeah. Megan will show up and be like, I have a bad attitude today.
The thing that I keep telling Mott's, which I keep being like, I need to really call the doctor about your, to move you up on that transplant list. And he was like, for what? I was like, you're 2 transplant. Like, I just keep telling him, I was like, I need to transplant. He's like, what do you mean? And I was like, we're going to have like a teenager who's just going to respond to things like, what? No. And he's going to be like, oh my God, I did this to myself. This is what it sounds like.
This is what it sounds like when the doves cry. Who sings that?
I don't know, Seal.
No.
AC/DC.
No.
Guns N' Roses.
No.
I'm just picking people who I don't know any of their songs. So, because I don't know what song that is.
Prince. And the song is When Doves Cry.
That should have been my first guess because Prince has probably one of the most robust discographies.
Oh,
Of anyone?
100%.
There's,
And even
you
the
could make
songs
up a
that
song and I would go, sure.
he wrote about, I mean, not about, but he did write a lot of songs about other people. He wrote songs for other people
Yeah.
too that you don't even realize.
No, like Prince and Whitney Houston have written, and Dolly, more songs than you know.
Whitney doesn't write. Whitney's
Who am
not
I
writing.
thinking of that wrote?
Mariah Carey.
Oh, maybe, did Mariah Carey write for Whitney? I'm thinking of someone oh no, Dolly wrote for, that's what, it's Dolly wrote for Whitney.
And so it's like, Whitney doesn't, Whitney's the voice.
Well, Whitney doesn't, first of all, Whitney does not have to write.
No, she doesn't. That's why she's known as the voice.
Oh yeah, so that must be Dolly who I was thinking of then. But there's a third person who does, maybe it was Mariah that would have been who I would have, yeah. I was surprised when I learned Mariah wrote all, because to me, I'm like, you don't need to do that.
Right.
You can do less. She was like, no.
I highly recommend you reading her book.
Yes. That, her book, you said, and Julia Fox's book, Kyle said.
Yeah, Mariah's going to be in concert when my mom's here. And I was like, Mom, do you want to go? And she's like, I'd rather go see Bruno Mars. And I said, Bruno Mars is not on tour. I'm literally asking because Mariah Carey is here. She'll be here. And I was like, that's all the answer I need because I want to go with someone that's excited.
The chokehold that Bruno Mars has his fans in is crazy.
I love Bruno Mars,
No,
and
but
I
there are
would
some
like to
people
see
who
him
are
too.
like,
But that was just like her thought. Like that's what she automatically goes
that
to.
is not. There are some people who are like, I only go to I don't go to concerts unless it's Bruno Mars, and it's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like. But there are other people who like. It's not like you have to choose between the two of
I
them. Like
know.
Bruno Mars isn't touring. It's like, well, why would I go see a concert if it's not Bruno
Right.
Mars? I'm like, oh my god.
Yes.
I think Bruno would want you to have fun. I don't
Right.
think Bruno wants to hold you, like, just hold you in this that you can't. Like,
Mhm.
okay. So
So I said, that's a no.
but hey, hit her up and Bruno's in town. Short King.
And she's 4'10", so same.
She's like, that's not my Short King.
Right.
It's just my king.
Mm-hmm.
Erase that short right up in there. My perfectly sized, my pint-sized prince. So should we get into our first segment or do we have a break first?
Let's get into our first segment.
Our first segment is But Am I Wrong? Where we pitch to each other circumstances in our life, what is currently happening in our life. I'm not talking about what's currently happening in my life because I am not wrong.
I am. Don't worry.
And,
Don't worry. I got you.
and or hot takes or rants. And if you are Melissa, you can also pick a hot take that you don't stand for at all, just for the giggles. And if you're new here, yes, she is an Aquarius.
Me, an Aquarius?
What? So my hot take is a take I think a lot of us are starting to realize, but it is time for us to revolutionize and band together, not as a union because we are consumers and we can't unionize, but Airbnb has gone too far and hotels are superior.
Oh, yeah.
Hotels are so much better.
100%.
And I need everybody to get on that level socially because it's like, oh, I'll get like I'll just like get a house. And it's like, whoa, hold up, Daddy Warbucks. Dial it back. Who's paying for, like, it's just no longer fun. It's no longer feasible. And I'm sorry, why am I paying twice as much for a hotel room when I then have to clean for myself in the sense of like, oh, just if you could run a couple loads of like the dishwasher, we have some laundry. If you could do your own laundry and then throw some of ours in if you like. And like, it's absolutely unhinged. And most of the time you're going in these they're vacation rental properties. So they're for profit. So there's like one pan and there is no oil. There's a spatula with a sticker on it. And they've never turned on like the range hood for something. So you're like, this is awful. The AC doesn't like, it's so clearly built just to make money as quickly as possible. And they're going to charge you so much fucking money for it. And all of that to say is I recently went on a little weekend thing and I went to an Airbnb, which is how Airbnbs used to be. And Airbnb, know your place. Get back to your roots of people who travel for work. This is your worst nightmare. But these people didn't travel for work, but they travel for fun. And it's the house that they live in normally. It was super clean, very nice, very unique and like cool where you're like, oh, this is actually worth it. This is comfortable. And then there is a full pantry stocked. There are utensils. There are things there because you're spending all this extra money to stay in an Airbnb so you have a kitchen, but then it's like, did you bring a pan? Because we actually don't have any of those. It's like we have a kitchen with nothing to do or to use in it. And would I have preferred to stay in a hotel? Of course I would have, but it was with just too many people to be in a hotel. And so I think Airbnb has its place, and that place is that. It is people who are renting out rooms that they want to do. And it's like, oh, super, super, super cheap. And it's just a room in a different city. And they know it's a lot of tourists coming through. And it's that, or it's people who travel and then they rent out their house. And then it becomes like a relatively, like a not-for-profit thing that it's like, oh, sure, it can be some bonus money or it can offset kind of things like this. But it's like, oh, no, we don't have to make the cost of caring for the place, building the place and doing all of that. We don't have to make the overhead so low to get all these crazy profit margins because this is how we make money. Is like, this is our like livelihood is renting out astronomically priced, tiny little gray floor, IKEA, like renovated condos. Mm-hmm. And I just hate it.
I don't disagree in the least. I was recently with some friends and they were talking about how they had to stay in an Airbnb that advertised that, you know, it sleeps whatever amount of people, and they had to they were doing this big thing with their family, and so that was the one that was the most feasible for them. Why did this place have triple decker king size beds? That doesn't even sound safe to me.
I don't think that's legal. Like
it is.
Who bought the frame?
I looked. There are places, and it looks like that they're
sister wives.
That they're specifically for vacation rental homes. But they were like, it was swaying back and forth.
Yeah.
Because there's no king size beds are wide. There's no stability in the middle of it. And whenever the person on the top moved, the whole thing moved. They said it was an awful experience.
I hope no one had sex.
No, they didn't.
Good.
The cleanliness of it is an issue for me. And then the fact that I'm on vacation, I got to clean up after myself, which, you know, I know that's like a privilege, but still, like, I'm vacationing. I don't like clean up after myself at home. I clean my home, like, once I'm in my house. I have contamination issues, but as long as it's my own stuff, I'm fine with it. It's other people's stuff. And I know how many people have been in and out, but like at a hotel, I know that there are standards that they have to perform to. There's not any in an Airbnb. Even when we went for your birthday that year, the grill was broken and the man tried to put it on us that we broke it, even though it was broken. It was filthy. Nothing in the cabinets. The stove didn't work properly either.
Nope. And the fridge, like, we had to like shut the fridge a certain way,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't close all the way.
Yeah, and then we had to wash our stuff before we left.
Yeah, on like all like the sheets and all that. And
Even
like,
though it was a nice place, but it's still like there was a lot of room, so it wasn't like we could just do one load and be done.
No, and it's just like that part of it is wild because I'm not someone who trashes a hotel room or leaves a hotel room in that kind of state. But I also just don't like that if something were to like go, if I get docked for something on Airbnb, like you have to go through like a whole fucking process to kind of go through all of that. But then also like if you have like a shitty Airbnb experience, or they basically tell you like lower your standards for your stay, like you should just lower your standards. But then when you check out, you have to be the most exemplary guest, or then they'll like nickel and dime you from that side. And you're like, but there's no consistency with that. So it's like holding your breath, hoping when you open the door, like, what's this going to be? And I also don't like how they don't reveal. They are so, the search algorithms, when you're looking for like locations of places, like they can be so fucking far away from where you're searching, but then they don't, and
you
like,
can't put an exact address.
No, or like I want it in like this like little air, like they'll still serve you ones that are farther. And only recently now can you like toggle the option to have it show you the total cost minus tax.
Right.
But it's still like that you go from a place that is like $300 a night, and then you're staying there for 2 nights and it's like $1,500, and you're like, how did we get here when you're having me do the laundry for you? Like you're paying a quote unquote cleaning service, but you're telling me to clean like spick and span.
Yep.
So the Airbnb experience I just had was so lovely, so nice. And it was also booked so last minute. So it was like, it was a deal. It was like way, way, way cheaper. And they'd only ever had a couple of guests, and it was their primary residence when they're not traveling.
Right.
And so I was like, this is actually what it should be. Like, this is a lot fucking easier. That's how it started.
For it to be.
Yeah. And then people just got greedy.
Yep. And then we're like, I'm just going to buy this house to rent it out on Airbnb.
Yep.
It's messed up, bro.
It is. And you can't do maintenance that way. Like guests can't maintain. And so that part is like, then things break. They don't get fixed because you're not keeping up with it. They had a gorgeous yard too. It was beautiful. They had like a whole backyard, and they were like, if you want to, you could totally go in the garden. We don't keep it up to like guest standards, so do not judge us, but feel free to look. And they had like chickens and like,
Did you get some eggs?
I was a little afraid of getting too close to the chickens.
I feel like you and chickens would get along.
I think we would. It was less the chickens and more unhook this thing and then stick your hand into this dark box to grab them.
Yeah.
I was a little afraid of that. And there were some big spiders.
Dark box. My own.
You know?
Not my hand though.
Right, all 5. So that's my take. And I think we need to come together and fix, as like, we need to just go back to hotels and make Airbnb. We need to put them in their place.
Yeah, it should be like vacation rentals as opposed to Airbnbs, and there's like standards with it, and not the way that Airbnb is. I know they just did this campaign about we're going back to our roots, or whatever the fuck they were saying, but no, it got too commercialized.
Yeah,
Pockets got too fat, and they got away from their values.
Yeah, and it should be like vacation homes then. Like, and then it's going to be something that it's like, there is one of everything there. There are enough beds, like places like vacation towns where people go and they rent homes for a whole fucking summer or wherever it is. That's, I think if you're going to have vacation style it needs to be to that level.
Yeah.
You know, you've got bikes there. You've got like water things there.
But there's also like somebody that comes and checks on things.
Yeah.
Which I feel like this is public information, but I stayed at Grace and Mamrie's house because they, you know, and it's run by,
City. They also are there a lot.
Yeah. But they have like
a property manager
that like checks on things and makes sure that things are up to standard. So that's how it should be.
Yeah, that's me.
Here's me. I think every year you should have a, you know how like you have a performance review at work. You should have it for your friends. And I think that you should write down everyone that you consider a friend. And then you sit there and you go, is this person actually a friend?
Oh, you're not going to send them the performance review?
You will.
Oh, okay.
You're going to sit down and be like, is this person a friend or an acquaintance? And that's your first thing. Like, do I actually have regular conversations with this person? when I have conversations, is it actually a conversation where both of us are contributing equally and we are both getting what we're giving out of this relationship? We both have the same values. We both have the same understanding. Like, and if you don't have like the same values, are there things that you can, you know, make allowances for? Like, what's your comfort for that? Have they been a good friend? Have they been there for you? If you're like doing like a big like change in your life, are they there, and do they like welcome you to be there with them? Do they take in like safety precautions for you? Are they concerned with like things that you're going through in your own life? And then like sit there and really evaluate it and
make a
say,
Canva template.
yeah, whatever. I prefer a spreadsheet, but if a Canva template is better for you, then do that. Yeah. However, like you want to do, like, even if it's like, I have a few friends that I might talk to like once every 6 months, but when we talk, they're like valuable conversations. Is this person adding value to your life? Or are they taking away value? Are they running and telling information about your life to people that you don't want the information to be spread through? Are they gossiping about you? Are they taking advantage of you? And so these are just things that I think everyone once a year should sit down and think about. Like, and if they're not someone that you feel like, you know, like this year, I'm going to continue to have them as my friend, then you can either let them know, you can send them the performance review, you could just ghost them, whatever you like. Then be like, and then you just stop. You don't communicate with them anymore unless like they reapply for the position, and right, and then the things that were fireable offenses, then you know, you reevaluate and see if things have changed. Or like you can do a thing where every year you send it to your friends that you're going to continue to be friends with, send them the thing. And then the year that they don't get one, then they're like, oh,
you are not America's next top model.
It's like a rose.
I'm holding 2 pictures behind here. So how do you feel about implementing self-reviews as well? People scoring themselves for that year.
They can score yourself.
Like about like how you were in that friendship that year. So it's like
they can even if you send your own if you send the performance review to them and they review it and then they like have notes, they can come back through with the notes. Just know that we've both reviewed this and here's where we stand.
I just think it'd be, you know, to think about how then someone would grade themselves at that. It offers some interesting thought. These are thought starters.
Yeah. So, and a ton of people write in or call in to us about like friendship issues. And I think if you did this to see who your actual friends are, then it will help you in those situations.
Google survey, maybe a paperless post to be like, unfortunately, you did not make the cut this year. You could even just like Google what's a good friend, and then pick and like do some research. Make sure that you're ready to hear what Google has to say, because when it becomes so simple and so easy, and you go, but I think that, you know, that can be a step. So maybe I'll come up with a survey and put it on our Patreon. I think I'll do that. I love that. Yeah. Maybe share it on your Instagram. Yeah, we might have like a free Patreon that we'll set up later. Yeah. It doesn't mean that the things that people pay for, they'll get for free. Yeah. But it's just like a little note. Yeah. A little nugget, some might say. They're like blog posts, essentially. We're in our blogger. We just pretend to have kids. We just like make up fake kids. Yeah. This week, Renesmee did this. She's walking now and talking. So fun. You know what? I love that. Thank you. I think that's like really insightful. Thank you so much. We have to send that to Kyle. He can contribute too. No, he'll love it. You know, he'll do his Kyle laugh. Like, it would be great. Well, I think those are both wonderful takes. I don't disagree with either of us at all. Thank you. Well, should we take a break? Let's take a break.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
And we're back from our break, and it's time to get into our next segment, which is But Are You Wrong? Where you, our listeners, our viewers, watchers, you write in with the circumstance, situation you have in your life where you want to know if you are the hero or the villain. It can be past or present, something that is weighing on your psyche. Or also it could be, would I be wrong if I made this decision? Or was I wrong in making this decision? Mm-hmm. So don't hold out for us to make your choices in your life unless it's like really juicy. But it is all anonymous. You can send it over to butamiwrongpod@gmail.com. Under 300 words, we ask that you include your age as well as anyone else involved, their ages. And if you'd like to include your pronouns, you can, but you also do not have to. Before we get into this, the trigger warning for mention of suicidal ideation. So first up, me 31, she, her, and Cassie 32, she, her. Me 31, she, her, and Cassie 32, she, her have been friends for 20 plus years and always super close. Lately, though, I feel like we've been drifting apart. She's been single for nearly a decade and is recently unemployed. She quit her job and is overall very dissatisfied about her life. She hates her body. She hates her appearance. The list goes on. My problem isn't any of that, though. It's this. Cassie's trauma dumping on her Instagram close friend stories. She has run the gamut of trauma dumping. She has live streamed a mental breakdown. You don't even need to continue on the list. That is where this is. Shared stories of recent suicidal ideation and has also written texts about how her friends in relationships, ahem, me, I'm married, all forget about her. When I talked to her about this in person, she told me she just wants people to see what she's going through and to validate her. I, was not satisfied with this response. So I muted her stories. I lied and I said I don't use Instagram that often and asked her to text me if she needed me. She hasn't. I occasionally click on her profile when I'm feeling up to it, mostly because I think she'll notice if I don't watch, and I regret it every time. Am I wrong for muting her story and not telling her? Am I wrong for setting this boundary when I know my friend is in trouble? I feel like a dick, but I also feel like I need to set a boundary somewhere. I don't think that you're wrong in the sense that you are drifting apart. So I think like if this was like a very close friend and someone you were still really close to, like I would probably be like, babe, like with so much love, like you need to not post this. Like this is not like you can text me, like I can help you out, like let's work on this. But from you said about a year this has been doing on. You actually haven't even said how long this has been going on. Because I would say that like if this is your very, very, very best friend or a really close friend and they're going through a time period of like big struggle, then I would be, hey, this is not how to do this. Like, we're going to set you up with psychiatrists. We're going to set you up with a therapist. Like, we're going to do this. Like, we're going to have like a support. I'm going to like, but then there would still be hard boundaries that you draw there. But this just seems like this is her shtick. Like, this is just what she does. And you've already felt that you're drifting apart and you already brought it up. So I would say like, if the guilt is eating away at you, you could say, because I would probably just stop watching in general because you said you really don't like seeing them. I think if in that case, if you're still worried about her and you want her to feel like she could still reach out to you, I would say like, hey, I don't think that the posting of this stuff is like, I don't know if this is super helpful for you, but this is not good for like my mental health. So please, like I said before, reach out to me, but I am going to mute you on Instagram. And like, or you just don't watch her stuff at all. And then if she's upset, but that is kind of the result of doing what she's doing on close friend stories. So I think sometimes you can do the right thing and still feel like a dick.
Yeah, I would mute the stories, but I'm also like, how many people are showing up to the Instagram live? Because is she doing it like is she just talking into the void? Are you the only one there?
Because that's like really troubling.
Yeah. I would clock that. Like, and if it's on her close friends, how many people are actually on her close friends? I know that's not really something you can answer, but that is something I would be curious about because it might be targeted.
Oh, yeah.
Because she knows that you're going to watch it and maybe she's wanting you to ask questions about it. I would ask her, like, what do you need? And if she doesn't have like an answer for that, then point her in the direction of people that can help her.
Yeah. She told me she wants people to see what she's going through and validate her. Yeah. I think I would also ask like if she's getting outside help, like if there's therapy, psychiatrist involved, because you're right. The live stream one is like giving me, in the sense of like talking about mental health, that's not giving me like a prolonged that is giving me like there's a heightened, we've reached a level of mania or something that is like, this is like a imminent danger sort of thing and is not safe. Because like you shouldn't be watching a live stream to be worried about someone's like well-being.
Right. And are people like interacting? If there's people on there, are they interacting with her? What's going on?
Yeah. What's her social media like on not close friends, like about other social media platforms and that stuff?
But this isn't Don't Blame Me.
Yeah.
We're not really here to give advice, but I don't think you're wrong. But I can't understand where it's a difficult situation. I mean, I didn't pick this one because I wasn't sure what the answer would be, because then there's also like, what if something does happen? And then I had her muted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think my answer is with love, I'm actually going to say I do think that you are wrong for muting the story and not telling her. And then you specifically said, am I wrong for setting this boundary when I know my friend is in trouble? So the fact that you're still referring to her as a friend in that line, and I would say that I think you would be wrong I don't think setting the boundary is wrong. I think setting the boundary without not telling someone you're setting a boundary when that person,
not a boundary then.
Yeah. And then when that person is in like a bad space is not a boundary. Like, it's not a boundary because you're also still checking in with the Instagram stories because she doesn't know you set that boundary. So I think that I would think that you're wrong there. And I think it would harm both of you in the sense that you would have to uphold something because she doesn't know. But then also there's, you're still referring to her as a friend and you know that she's in trouble and you don't have to like maintain a friendship, but to kind of, I always think like one last thing or like really like letting you know where I'm at and what I'm doing. And I'm kind of moving myself, separating from the situation, but like, please call me or can I get you help there? I think that's the right way. So I would say that you're wrong, but not for the goal, just for the execution.
Yeah. Okay. I'll agree with that then. All right. Here's the next one. I went to another country and met some girls, Jess and Jen, and we became best friends. I left the country, but we stayed in touch and remained best friends. I am now returning to that country for school and I'm needing somewhere to stay. I'm going to live with my boyfriend, but he currently lives with his grandparents while we look for an apartment. I asked Jess and Jen if I could stay with them for about 2 months while we apartment hunt. They have a 3-bedroom house. Jen replied saying it would be too crowded. This hurt my feelings because I thought we were really close. When I mentioned it hurt my feelings, Jen got overly mad and said I was wrong for feeling hurt when they do everything for me in our friendship and listen to all my problems. She said I should stay with my boyfriend and not them, but my boyfriend's grandparents don't believe in us living together at their place. I apologized for my feelings after the fight. Since then, they have ghosted me for several days when we usually talk daily. I am wondering if I want a friendship, I have to walk on eggshells. Am I wrong for being hurt, or is Jen wrong for being overly offended that I was hurt?
I don't like the term overly offended in general, because offended is just, you know what I mean?
You're just offended.
You're just offended.
I don't think you're wrong for being hurt, but I don't think you're wrong for them saying no to you staying at their house, even if they have a 3-bedroom. I have a 3-bedroom. I don't want anybody else in here.
No, someone saying for 2 months is crowded. It does not matter how big it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's the length of time that is crowded, not, the space of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like an unfortunate thing that, like, it also, like, a lot of times will usually take a hell of a lot longer for that. And then it's like an awkward position that you're put in, and it's not hard. It's not bad. It's a total great deal for, like, the person who's looking for a place. And you're like, this is fun and this is only temporary. But for other people who they already lived there, it's like it's disrupting their routine and all of that kind of stuff that makes it can build resentment in the friendship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because living with someone is different from just being friends with someone. I don't think we could live together.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Like, I couldn't think of one friend I want to live with.
No, I don't want to live with. I like living with Mott's, and even sometimes he pisses me off,
right?
Because he's messy.
But
so am I. But, like, it's a different kind of messy. But like, yeah, it's just it's also a lot to sacrifice your friendship for. That I think in general, unless someone offers to say, hey, do you want to come stay? You can stay with me for a couple months. You never need to ask.
Yeah. I mean, when I first moved here, a friend asked me, like, she told me, she's like, you can totally stay with me while you're looking for a place. But she didn't tell her roommate that. And she also told me that I could stay there free of charge, and didn't tell the roommate that. And the roommate, like, came to me one day. Yeah.
That's not
yeah.
true.
And said, I was like, I offered to pay. And she said no.
Mm-hmm.
Then the roommate told me that friend also had not been paying rent.
Oh my God.
And
she's trying to get a 2-on-1, kind of get you on her side. And
yeah. And then also, and so, like, that roommate had been paying her rent because she didn't want to, well, her parents had been paying it because she didn't want to get behind on. And I was like, so she offered up this place to me.
She wasn't even paying for it.
Where she wasn't even paying for it. And then she also, like, the roommate stole, like, her one time the roommate was out of town and she took her car, and the roommate found out because
vibes like roommates I've had.
Yeah. So the roommate found out because she found, like, a Taco Bell, like,
it's at the scene of the crime.
Little
Wrapper?
sauce pack.
Oh.
And she was like, I don't eat at Taco Bell. There's no way that I would have this in my car.
I feel like I'm going crazy.
Yeah. Eventually my friend, like, ended up, like, when their lease was up, ended up moving out, but the roommate didn't tell her that she was still keeping the place for a couple months because she was, like, moving, but had worked it out with the landlord. And she was like, you can stay here if you, like, want to pay rent. And I ended up, because I didn't have anywhere to go at that point. And, like, I did.
Are you still friends with both of them?
One of them I was never friends with.
The roommate.
But my friend, yes, I'm still friends with her.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's also, like, I have to say, though, respect your friend because she could have just been like, perfect, I'll have her move in and pay my half of the rent. And she was like, no.
Yeah. Like,
she's not going to pay. And you're like,
I could have been paying for it.
We could have been subsidizing this issue that you were having.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Not trying to hustle anyone.
Which a problem.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is, like, like, moving in with someone messes up the flow of what they already have established, and you could be creating new issues for everyone that lives there. They might like to have naked parties and just walk around naked all day. Like, they have their own routine and own things that they're going through in their life. And, like, if they don't want you there, then they don't want you there, in the same way that your boyfriend's grandparents don't want you there.
Yeah. So it has nothing to do with the lack of, like, they're better friends. They're just roommates too. Like, the relationships of friend and roommate are very separate. And so that doesn't mean they like you less as a friend. It just means that, like, it could even be that, like, we could live together, but, like, we would just need to if we knew we were gonna have 3 people living here, we would have picked this other spot.
Right.
Like, 2 people have a 3rd bedroom for a reason.
Right.
But yeah, I also think that there is a likelihood, and I would put that in mind for you. You said the grandparents do not want you, like, doesn't seem like they want even living together. And I'm sure, I don't know if he's paying rent. it could be a lot longer than 2 months because your boyfriend might just be like, oh, this all seems way too expensive. Like, I've got a good situation here. And then you would be shit out of luck because you're staying with friends who you said it'd only be 2 months.
Right. And you're also moving to a completely different country. Like, in dynamics also change in relationships and friendships, like romantic relationships and platonic relationships, when you haven't been living in the same place and then you live in the same place. Like, I had a friend that was living in a different country, and I'm a late night upper. And so, like, when it was like daytime for them, it was nighttime for me. Like, we were like great at texting, like great friends texting. And then they moved here, and I was like, you get on my last fucking nerves.
Yep. You're wonderful in script. You're wonderful in the written word.
Yeah.
Not so much the whole essence.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't think you're wrong for being hurt. I do think you were wrong for not just taking that one on the chin and keeping that to yourself. Because it's not personal.
Okay.
Shall we take a break?
We shall.
We are back from our break, and it's time to get into the very last segment. I forgot what the word segment was for a second.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
Second. And it is But Are They Wrong, where we nominate a person, place, or thing, pop culture, current event, something to say, you suck, and we would like to collectively throw tomatoes, or in the words
Use
of
diaper.
Oh, I was going to say Grace Helbig, cold spaghetti.
Oh, yeah.
I do think most of the people I would just do, it would be a lot stronger than cold spaghetti. A little less quirky, a little less fun, and we talk shit on them. So mine, I would like to nominate. I mean, I could nominate the concept of the fact that we have so much technology and we're learning so much about technology, but apparently we're not actually learning anything. And we're just setting ourselves up for like the beginning part of a movie where it's like, and then everything went drastically wrong. But instead, I'm just going to nominate Meta for creating these AI buddies. Have you seen these?
Yeah.
Melissa, when
the ones that are helping people, telling people to kill people.
What the fuck? Not that one. What do you mean?
There's one that they had made friends with an AI bot, and then it was like, go kill the queen.
She's already dead,
though. Well, it was before.
Oh, a different queen. Oh, are they investigating it? I was kidding. Oh my God.
Well, they don't think that like he killed the queen,
no,
but like looking into why it did this.
Because it's technology. Stop making technology just sourcing things online, and then people say like really like out of pocket shit to AI, so then it learns that and then it regurgitates that. So yeah, no, not that, because that would be a wild lawsuit, specifically in the case of Meta, because they just launched this big rollout, which includes Mr. Beast, Charli D'Amelio. I'm just zooming in on the photo. I think that's Charlie. Her sister shaved her head. Kendall Jenner, and I'm not going to read the ones of the people that I really like because I have different standards for different people. They launched this thing where they are partnering with celebrities, and these celebrities, Kendall Jenner, speak to your mother. These people they signed not their name, their likeness for these AI bots for, I think it's like a year, not even that long, 3 years, 3 months, something, where they record these videos. They have Instagram accounts, and it's like, hey, like, it's Kendall. I'm your like girl BF. I'm your little BFF. Like, ask me like big sis questions. And then you can just DM them, and it's an AI bot, but to the face of Kendall Jenner, but they come up with, it's not Kendall, quote unquote. Her name is Billy. And it's like, as if that's supposed to like make it better in the sense of legal wise. And Paris Hilton has one. And like, you solve like a true crime, but you like talk to I don't know how an entire group of professionals I do know there's not enough women, sat at a goddamn fucking table and said, you know what kids need? Kids with these parasocial relationships and these obsession with celebrity and the comparison, we need them to stay inside on their phones, to feel like they have relationships with these celebrities who they will trust by their face, but we can't legally have them use their real names. They're going to communicate with them, tell them things that are, you know, probably varying levels of, hey, I would have to report this or something. I'm going to use that to, you know, keep tabs on their selling habits and those things of the family. And I'm going to let these people form emotional attachments to people who they already have weird emotional attachments to. Celebrities, the people who did this, how does this not worry you? People already think that they know you. And now you have people who are like, I'm going to have a conversation. The way I think they're getting around like the ethics of this is like each person, you've like a specialty, like they have like a specific thing that you ask them questions about. And so it's like, they're not going to respond to like certain stuff, but Kendall's is called, yours is, your sis Billy. That's the one that is like, no, it's supposed to be like giving young girls advice. That I think in theory, totally sure. No, not cool.
No, because it's
cool.
going to learn stuff that it shouldn't be learning. Do they have somebody that's ethical? Which no, that is monitoring this 24/7.
Are they also a mandated reporter? Like it's just like you don't have enough information. It's just not. It's just like not chill. And the advice, quote unquote, that you'd be giving, to me, if I was her rep, I would be like, no shot in fucking hell. Versus like people who are doing like, oh, ask me about how to make crafts and stuff, like things that are like parameters that are a little bit safer.
Mm-hmm.
That's not as bad, but. Under the caption, it says AI managed by Meta. And then it does all of the photos on the feed they have like that little like logo stamp to show you that it's made with AI. But then a real photo of Kendall Jenner. And then the intro video is a video of Kendall Jenner.
I am here to chat whenever.
It's also, I don't know how she didn't feel so fucking silly doing this. She did.
Well,
hey guys, it's Billy. I just want to introduce myself.
Why is she sitting like that?
I am here to chat whenever you want. Message me for any advice. I am ready to
I don't think I've ever heard her talk before. I didn't know her voice sounded like that.
Billy, why are you wearing a suit?
Why is she like this?
Because I don't know. She's got some AI in her DNA. Like 23andMe will find.
It's incredible how she doesn't sound anything like her sisters.
Also, that's the most like recent person that she's followed. But there's Angie.
That's my mom.
Which is yoga lover that believes life is about mind, body, spirit, and dogs. Message me to get started. You sound like a sex bot.
Yeah. And the sex bots were having issues too.
Liv, proud Black queer mama of two and truth teller. Your realist source for life's ups and downs. There's Perry, who is an ex-golf pro. Are you because these are famous people. I don't know who this man is, but like, does this man actually play golf? And then wouldn't you use his real name? Because then that becomes a little bit too much like him because you're using his face and a previous profession. Then there's Sally, taking on life one wave at a time. Message me to get started. Leo, you're either moving up the mountain or you're not. Career coach dropping knowledge on how to succeed. Isn't that the actor?
The thing is, it looks like someone.
You're going to be building the plane midair.
Oh yeah,
ideal,
that's
but you can do it.
Isn't that the dad from Even Stevens? Is that him?
That is the dad from Even Stevens. Melissa? Why? And he said there's AI generated images of him with a coffee cup. If anyone can see on the Patreon, you'll have to zoom very close to your phone. But like him with a coffee cup in a mountain. Pay for a fucking stock image of that. I don't need an AI generated image of an image that has existed 1,000 times. There's also Bob the robot. Too smart to be human. What I lack in emotion, I make up for in knowledge.
They're pulling from us.
I did not consent for you to use one of the few sentences I've strung together in a way that actually did make sense. There are so few sentences of mine that are worth repeating, and to take one. MetaQuest. There's also Melisa. We've lost the plot. There's Jane Austen. This is a blonde woman in front of a green screen, except it's yellow. Novelist and storyteller. You know me best for the writing I did with a quill. Message me to get started. And then we just have little fucking coquette little cutesy pink bow level shit. Who is this woman?
Who from her team allowed that?
Who is this woman though?
Let me see.
I don't know. It's just some random blonde woman. Damn, cancel the strike. Let us work. Scarlett, everyone's bestie, here if you need me. And then she posted a quote, living in the past. It's a new generation. A girl can do what she wants to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. But don't worry. It's, I don't give a damn about my reputation, that song. The song is not attached, but that's just the lyrics. Then there's Dylan. Victor. Oh, Victor, you look familiar.
Not him, too.
Oh my God, this man! Save this man. A gun is being held against his head.
It's Dwayne Wade, right?
Listen to him.
Let's push it to the limit.
Save my man. Save my man. IRS is the only reason why this man is here. IRS, leave him alone. Why? And he's nothing.
I need
will
to have a word with Gabrielle.
Work unless you do. Triathlete, go-getter, game changer, health and workout tips. There's Alvin the alien, explorer on adventure, capturing weird Earth things.
No, he doesn't do it for me.
Maybe that was going to be giant. The dungeon map. What? Adventure awaits. Begin your next great story. This is Snoops. Snoops is looks like a fantasy game. I'm the dungeon master. Guide your own AI adventure. What quest do you seek? That I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Coco is a girl just vibing. Message me to get started. Disgusting.
Nicole?
Disgusting.
Hold on, Nicole. What did you sign up for?
Of all the things, that's the grossest to me. Oh my God. POV, I'm watching you. I'm watching you try the Baltimore stunt. The Baltimore strut. Is she from Baltimore? She's like, I rep Baltimore incredibly hard. I'm like, do you, Charlie D'Amelio? But of all the things to say, a girl just vibing, message me to get started. This girl is under 18. Stop pandering to...
She is?
Yes. And everyone else says, I'm an expert in this. Do that, blah, blah, blah. This is just a girl vibing. And it's her, it's she's dancing and she is the most she's got 3 things with her on there. She's doing a whole makeup look. And I don't know if that's generated, but they're doing this big smoothing filter on some of them. Jada is your girl for all things hip hop. There's a dog mom. There's a anime cosplay fashion. There's Zach, Mr. Beast, here to generate real humor based on my artificial pain. I don't know if Mr. Beast is funny. There's an aspiring singer-songwriter, someone named Brew. Oh my God. Sports obsessed, trash talker. Step into the brew zone and prepare to have your sports takes flame roasted. From the man with the most personality.
I'm Brew. And if you're looking to talk sports,
Tom Brady. Do you think they specifically cast a couple people? Lauren, I'm not talking about you. A couple people who their 23andMe reports comes back with, there's a gigabyte in there. There's a little technology running in that bloodstream. You got a little stiffness there. And yeah, Paris Hilton is doing cases and someone named Cook with Max. I'm assuming they're cooking.
What an assumption to make.
But hey, it better than some of the other ones.
Let's move on.
That's it. And I hate it.
And I do too.
Stop trying to make the metaverse happen. It's not going to fucking happen. Learn from Dippin' Dots who really deserve the future. And that's it.
All right. Well, I'm going to move over to Bezos Emporium.
Because will you explain what happened when you shifted your topic to this?
I was sitting here and I got a push notification from a news outlet that had, I don't think I'll have the headline anymore.
But she gasped.
I gasped because I couldn't believe it.
Jaw dropped, mouth open, and I'm going, what? And you were like, I'm changing my nomination. We'll talk about it. And so I've ignored all of my news push notifications Because I have no idea what it is.
So it is Release, which was an energy drink that Bezos Emporium sold on their website. And inside the bottle, I need you to brace yourself, was urine allegedly discarded by Amazon delivery drivers and collected from plastic bottles by the side of the road.
Like sourced urine?
It was literally the urine because, they wouldn't let them have bathroom breaks. And so people were pissing in bottles and throwing their pee on the side. Let me finish. Release even attained a #1 bestseller status in the bitter lemon category.
Shut the fuck. That's disgusting.
So it was created by Uba Butler for a new documentary, The Great Amazon Heist, which aired on the UK today. I don't know if it's airing in the US, but Butler's a journalist and a presenter. And he pulls a lot of stunts, and he's probably most famous for turning his shed in a London garden into a #1 ranked restaurant on TripAdvisor. And so he begins his journey for this by just going up to an Amazon distribution center with a hidden camera and speaking to workers who complained of foot and back pain and the dangerous work conditions and how they were constantly being surveillanced at work, so they couldn't really take breaks. And so he spent his first day unloading a truck, and it was baking hot with no fan and no air conditioner. And he just happened to be there on the day when they were having a hiring spree at the Coventry warehouse. This is in the UK. And at the time, workers were trying to gain union recognition, and the union accused Amazon, since then the union has accused Amazon of deliberately hiring hundreds of extra staff to scupper the vote, and Amazon denies this. So he recognized within days of being there that while he was interviewing the drivers, they told him that they were being penalized for slow deliveries to the extent that they had to pee in bottles because they didn't have time to find anywhere to stop for bathroom breaks. And so the drivers would pee in bottles, which was reported in the past, but it wasn't known if this claim was like real or not, or if they were getting penalized because Amazon would allegedly get this stuff taken out of the news. So along the routes near the warehouse, there's just bottles of pee everywhere.
Oh my God.
And so Butler would just go along the roadside and near roadhouses in both Coventry and then also New York and Los Angeles. And he would strike what he would call liquid gold. And from there, he got the paperwork from Amazon to sell Release, like he was saying, it was an energy drink on Amazon, and there weren't really any checks and balances that he had to jump through. No hurdles.
That's crazy.
There was nothing like the FDA. He could just sell things. And he said releasing the drink was surprisingly easy, which he told Wired. I thought that the food and drinks licensing would stop me from listing it. So I started it out in this refillable pump dispensary category. Then the algorithm moved it into drinks. At one point, he contacted Amazon, a representative, to handle the packaging and shipping and logistics through the fulfillment by their program. And just to be clear, nobody in the public actually received urine. Yeah. He was just doing this to see if it could happen. And so he had friends make purchases of it to see, and the friends received piss labeled as a release in the mail.
Piss.
Yeah, in the mail, in this bottle that when you do the picture for the thing, just find it, it looks like an energy drink.
Yeah,
but it's pee. And so that shows that Amazon is not checking any of the products that's actually coming through. He said initially he felt really excited and thought it was funny. And then when real people started ordering the product, he was like, I felt scared. And so he stopped it.
Yeah.
And then a representative from Amazon called it a crude stunt and said that the company has industry-leading tools to prevent genuinely unsafe products from being listed. But obviously they don't.
Are they saying urine's not unsafe?
Right. They're like, it's sanitary.
Exactly
No,
saying-
it's not.
Not someone else's pee.
No. Yeah, so this documentary is out.
I wanna watch it.
Amazon doesn't have any checks and balances for anything that you can sell on. Maybe this documentary will make it better, but you could receive pee in the mail from Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, drop shipping that's the part that I think they don't regulate at all. And they talk about that with like sunscreen and like different like skincare, beauty care. Like only a couple people even have like verified Amazon sellers, but Amazon also like lets people upload the same product from a quote unquote different fulfillment center, even if it's not affiliated with the brand.
Right.
And they don't care about that.
They don't care. It's just the money. As long as they're getting paid, they don't care.
Damn. That is gasp worthy. And I understand your reaction. Disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting. And so,
but genius, like journalism and investigative work.
He has like a firsthand report on it if anybody wants to go read it and then watch the documentary.
And Mr. Beast is just like locking people in grocery stores and seeing how long it takes them to snap, and he's making all this money.
Don't get me. I've already
I know, but I'm just saying like
about Mr.
This
Beast.
could be, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you could do the scale and operations.
Is also an actual journalist.
No, I know, but I mean like the scale and operations of like, I want to change the world. Like, let's do that.
Right.
I love good journalism.
Me too. And I said, I love how he saw an opportunity and took it.
Yeah.
It wasn't what he was going in for, but then he was like, I want to see, let me see this through.
Mm-hmm. And like the follow through aspect of like instead of just observing, I always think it's obviously a riskier journalistic take, but I think it's seems exhilarating, but also it's just as humans being like, oh wow, that was so easy, and you proved how you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Nasty. Piss at Bezos Emporium. 8 ounces, 12 ounces, or a 6. Would you like a big gulp of piss?
I'll show you
Well, it's gonna look like Mountain Dew. Like it can totally see color wise.
But it's in the container.
Yeah. What was it called?
Release.
I was gonna say that feels a little on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Release your bladder into here, and I will sell it on Amazon.
Right.
And it's also unique because it's like, hey, Amazon, these are your workers' piss. Your workers. I thought you didn't want them to stop to pee, so I saved it all for you. Here you go. Here's your piss. Go piss, girl. I naively definitely thought for like a long time that they had bathrooms in shipping. Big semi trucks. Like I used to think all of them had bathrooms.
They have beds back there, so you would think, but that's why they have rest stops and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, we hope you all enjoyed. That is it for our episode. Again, head on over to our Instagram to vote on who you think was wrong. In each of our segments. They will be up quicker this time. I hope to God. And if you enjoyed this episode, please review it, like it. You can also follow us on social media. And as always, if you'd like us to talk about something specific, either a hot take that you might have that you wonder if we share, or someone to nominate for Rachel of the Week, you can DM us individually or on the podcast Instagram account. You can tag us on TikTok. And yeah, that's it. We will see you next time, and stay tuned tomorrow for the results from last week's episode.
We will circle back.
Goodbye. But Am I Wrong is a production by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa DeMonts, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
And production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
Do you love Disney? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. There is nothing we don't cover.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed, but you definitely need in your life. So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Lauro, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth. Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, this is Rob Benedict.
And I am Richard Spate. We were both on a little show you might know called Supernatural.
It had a pretty good run, 15 seasons, 327 episodes.
And though we have seen, of course, every episode many times, we figured, hey, now that we're wrapped, let's watch it all again.
And we can't do that alone, so we're inviting the cast and crew that made the show along for the ride. We've got writers, producers, composers, directors, and we'll of course have some actors on as well, including some certain guys that played some certain pretty iconic brothers.
It was kind of a little bit of a left field choice in the best way possible.
The note from Kripke was, he's great, we love him, but we're looking for like a really intelligent Duchovny type.
With 15 seasons to explore, it's going to be the road trip of several lifetimes. So please join us and subscribe to Supernatural Then and Now.
Bitches on Comics is a bi-monthly interview podcast where we talk to the coolest LGBTQ plus folks and women in comics and pop culture.
Our unique perspectives and welcoming nature have earned us the honor of being named a best comic book podcast by Book Riot, Screen Rant, The Mary Sue, Comic Book Herald, and Comic Book Couples Counseling.
Bitches on Comics is hosted by moi, Monica Estrella Negra, filmmaker, writer, and co-founder of Audrey's Revenge Film.
And me, Essie Fleenor, comic and pop culture nerd and culture critic with writing in The Independent, Vice, Electric Literature, Star Trek, and so much more.
We're also both voting members of Gallica, the Society of LGBTQ plus entertainment critics.
Join Bitches on Comics for in-depth, hilarious, and heartfelt conversations with the likes of Stephanie Williams, Leah Anderson, and the late, great Rachel Pollack.
Listen to Bitches on Comics on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Or tune in at bitchesoncomics.com. New episodes every other Wednesday.